This video is brought to you by DeckFilter. More on that in a second. This week, the OrangePi Neo was delayed until Q3, but it's not the only Manjaro-powered handheld out there. We'll talk about it. Plus, Gears of War Reloaded's beta launches today with full SteamOS support, and the Steam Deck OLED is out of stock. The question is why? All of this and more today. That's right, it's Steam Deck and Linux gaming news time. Alright, first up, the OrangePi Neo is a handheld we've been talking about for a while on this channel, and it's being produced by OrangePi, which is a single board computer manufacturer, and it's shipping with Manjaro Linux, which I find particularly cool because Manjaro is a fun distro. The Neo was slated for release in Q1 of this year, but production issues have delayed the device to Q3. Now, there's no firm release date for the OrangePi Neo yet, and I reached out to the project lead of Manjaro, Philip Mueller, about the product delay, and he said, quote, "Production might be Q3 now. Hardware seems final, but they're still working on firmware stuff." He also said that Valve has 2 retail units that they're reviewing. He also gave me a few of these beauty shots, and I have to say, it looks delicious. Like, I want to take a bite of this, like a creamsicle. I think this looks really nice. All in all, I'm looking forward to this device, especially just to be able to give it a spin and see what it's got to offer, especially since it's got 2 trackpads, which in my opinion is non-negotiable in terms of input. I think that 2 trackpads are absolutely critical when it comes to especially playing like older games, being able to map extra controls to it and stuff. However, Manjaro Linux is also shipping on the ZOTAC Gaming Zone handheld, which could offer some stiff competition for the Neo. Now, there were some really great shots of this thing, and we talked about it a few weeks back. I'm curious what you think about these Manjaro-powered handhelds. Let me know in the comments, and make sure you smash the like button while you're down there to let YouTube know you want to see more videos just like this. Now, before we move on, I want to take a moment and thank this video sponsor, DeckFilter. DeckFilter is a companion app for your Steam Deck that helps you quickly sort through your Steam library and your wishlist based on tons of useful criteria. The app gives you access to many built-in Steam metrics like the hours you've played, Steam Deck verified status, and also by Steam reviews. But it also pulls from external data points like ProtonDB ratings, how long to beat scores. Now, my favorite feature has to be DeckFilter helping me with picking which game I want to play next from my literally hundreds of unplayed Steam games. You can apply filters to your library and then hit the random game button and it'll present you with a title that you can play next. I think that's super neat. DeckFilter is built for busy gamers to help you maximize your playtime and quickly finding titles that match your schedule and preferences. Plus, they have a great roadmap of upcoming features on their website. DeckFilter is available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Check it out with the link below and let them know that I sent you. And thanks again to DeckFilter for sponsoring this video. So this week we got some pretty exciting news. Gears of War Reloaded is having a public beta test this weekend, and it has SteamOS support. Now, it does include Easy Anti-Cheat, but curiously, Microsoft has been one of the biggest proponents of actually enabling Easy Anti-Cheat support on Linux, which I find fascinating, because you can't even say that about Epic, and they're the people who actually make Easy Anti-Cheat. I have such fond memories of Gears of War, and this is the first time the original game is going to be on Steam. This is a long time coming, and as a Gears fan, I'm happy to be able to play this game on my PC through a modern storefront. And before anyone goes into the comments and says, "But it's been available through PC Game Pass for like 10 years, allow me to once again state that I am happy this game is finally going to be available for my PC. I have not pre-ordered the game, so I am not going to be eligible for this beta, but I will say that my enthusiasm is undeterred here. It's coming with SteamOS support, and the Steam Store page mentions that it's optimized for PC and handhelds. This game is almost 20 years old, so my money is on the title playing like butter on the Steam Deck, and I can't wait to pick it up on August 26th. Now, in the proud tradition of other FOSS games, CorsixTH offers a new beta for their Theme Hospital engine rebuild project, and it's got a few choice updates. For example, the game has made a few changes to bring the gameplay closer to the original. VIP patients now walk slower, like in the original. Annual rewards and trophies now have more robust evaluation criteria. Patients' treatment costs are now determined at the time they agree to pay, and a whole lot more. And they also added some new features like a machine menu where you can view the status of all the machines in your hospital in one place. Also, patients' happiness can now be a win-lose factor in custom games. If you want to give CorsixTH a spin, you'll need to own a copy of Theme Hospital from GOG, which there's an affiliate link below, and if you use my link, I very much appreciate it. It's one of the ways you can help support this show. And speaking of CorsixTH, keep your eyes peeled over at the Bryant blog, because I've got a review of the beta coming up in a few days. And don't forget to subscribe over there to stay up to date with this content. I'm writing about 5 articles a week over there, and it has been incredibly creatively fulfilling. I also have a few posts from guest authors coming up, which I'm very excited about, and we've got about 1,000 subscribers over there, so make sure you get subscribed and join in the growing and not to mention fun community. Alright, in exciting Linux desktop news this week, both Manjaro and Ubuntu have pledged that they are going to get rid of Xorg support in favor of Wayland soon. Manjaro's head of KDE, Artem Frenev, said, quote, "I was using Wayland for quite a while and things are more or less smooth with NVIDIA proprietary drivers. I think it's time for Manjaro to move to Wayland by default for both Plasma Session and SSDM." Meanwhile, on the Ubuntu side, Canonical has confirmed that Ubuntu 25.10 will be their first version to drop Xorg sessions completely. They're moving exclusively to Wayland, and frankly, this is the right move on both Manjaro and Ubuntu's part. Importantly, 25.10 is the last release before their next LTS, which is a long-term support release for Ubuntu. That's coming out in April of 2026. So this new release will give them a decent amount of lead time to shake down the changes ahead of their flagship release. Now look, the Linux community has been talking about how Wayland is the future for something like a decade. I remember reading about Wayland before this channel was even a thing, and I've been doing this for 10 years. So it's exciting to see progress moving things more swiftly now. Finally, let's talk about the Steam Deck OLED currently being out of stock on the Steam store. But the question is why? Well, if you've been following any of the goings-on in the dumpster fire we call the global economy, you'll know that the supply chains in the US and Canada have become quite wonky. Regional issues due to Trump's trade provocations have caused hardware vendors to run headlong into gaps in much-needed parts. And Valve is not immune from this trade war malarkey. The Steam Deck OLED is completely out of stock, while the LCD model is still available. It's unclear which parts exactly are out of stock, though presumably it could be the OLED screen or the higher capacity 2230 NVMe drives. Steam Deck OLED 512GB and 1TB models are temporarily out of stock in the US and Canada as we adapt to recent supply chain constraints. We anticipate being back in stock by the end of the summer and currently expect prices will remain the same. We'll update here as soon as we have more clarity on what the timeline ultimately looks like. Well, I think we had a pretty eventful week in the Linux gaming world. I'd love to know your thoughts on any of the stories we talked about. Head down in the comments and sound off. I want to thank the sustaining members on my blog, on Patreon, and YouTube for making this show a reality. If you'd like to see your name listed over here, you can use the links below to make a monthly contribution. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.